Hey everyone, this is Borvak. I don't know how it keeps getting so late, so quickly, and so dark, but my goodness, life comes at you fast and it doesn't stop coming. I keep thinking I'm gonna get off work early, and the exact opposite happens. I'm sure no one can relate to that. But um, last time, I intended to cover a little bit in this Robotanimals book, and instead I got distracted and covered Batman Beyond instead. But I want to see if I can actually do it this time. I do have this. I do have this Teen Titans, but I'm not going to be distracted because this is issue number 2 in a storyline. So if I end up covering this, I'm going to read the first one first. That shouldn't be too hard to pick up. So, getting right into this, it's getting darker before my eyes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Let's find out, though. So, the light gives too much glare. That's a problem with the glossy pages, is the glare. But, the IDW, they had a comic book. There was a. What am I trying to say? Nickelodeon rebooted the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and made a computer animated cartoon that I loved. They did that back in 2012. I loved it. It was the first. It's the iteration of the Turtles that I like the best visually. I like the way they represented the characters visually and characterized them. Every turtle looks different. Every turtle um, has a different face, has a different build, has different eye colors, and I like that. Uh, I wouldn't mind seeing it in a little more realistic, but the problem I see with a lot of Turtles stuff is like the original Turtles. I don't know. A lot of people like that show, and I want to like it, but it's campy. I've not seen enough of it, so I'm sure it's great. I'm sure I'd like it if I saw it, but I think I'd have to put myself in the mindset of this is an old show. It's really campy. I don't think anyone would deny that probably, and it's goofy. And the turtles are designed with like these big noses, and they look doofy. To me, anyway, that'll get me in trouble with Turtles purists and fans. But then again, from what I understand, one of the co-creators of the Turtles hated that original cartoon for how far it strayed from the original feel of the comic books, actually. So I would not be alone in maybe respecting it a little less than I should, but I do want to get into it sometimes, especially since it is the longest running Turtles show. I've heard that the cast, the voice actors, had really great chemistry, and that makes me want to see it, even if it's not, maybe if I think of it more as the, Batman, the Brave and the Bold show. As that is, for what that is for Batman, if I try to think of the original Turtles show as kind of that same thing for the Turtles, as being just kind of this goofy, fun, silly thing that makes fun of itself, but not to the detriment of itself. I could probably handle that. But what I'm trying to say is the original show, they had these big doofy noses. They look like these big goofy things. You could never take them seriously. And the for kids show, I like the designs there, but they're all still big and buff. Even Donatello, which he's a ninja, he should be a little bit, but there still didn't seem to be enough differentiation to me, but they looked better than that original show to me. And now the Nickelodeon show, the character designs to me are almost perfect. I really like it. And again, if you wanted to do a little more realistic version of what they did, I would be all for that. But again, I see a lot of the more realistic interpretations seem to not. You got to make your characters look maybe scary, maybe kind of weird, but you want them to be fun to look at. You want them to be attractive on some level, and this show did that. And the more realistic iterations don't always seem to do that for me. I do the more I hear about it, the more I do want to read the main IDW Turtles book that has the more realistic art style, just to see what they do with different things. Especially they have a Turtles universe book that sounds really interesting, spin-off from their regular Turtles book, and see kind of some side characters. I think is the main idea for that. But I like the art style in this book. In the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, and IDW licensed the rights from Nickelodeon to make comics, and they had 3 different iterations. They had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, New Animated Adventures. That went on for a while. It had really tight continuity. They weren't allowed to do very much outside of. They were supposed to be, I think, in the same continuity as the show, so they couldn't really do much. Apparently, they had some problems with that. They wanted to take it in a new direction. It went for a decent amount of time, a couple of years, I think, and then they rebooted it to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Amazing Adventures, where they kind of were able to go off and do their own thing, just try to keep the same feel, the same characters, but they could introduce new characters and stuff like that. This is a spin-off of that second run, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Amazing Adventures. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Robotanimals. And this is kind of a farewell to that iteration of the Ninja Turtles. This is the swan song. This is the farewell. It's I have it in book form. I didn't read the original comics. I've only read it in this book form, but it is it comes from a 3-issue miniseries that was kind of the last straw. There was again, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, New Animated Adventures. They rebooted that to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Amazing Adventures, and then they kind of ended that to do the Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures crossover, which is great. I need to cover that. It's very, very Batman the Animated Series. Batman, basically that Batman and those characters meeting these turtles. And then after that ended, they had their one last hurrah with this mini series before finally giving it up. And I don't know if they're going to do I don't know if they're going to do a comic, if IDW is going to do a comic book iteration of whatever Nickelodeon is doing next. I know there's a lot of controversy with that. Just a lot of their casting, a lot of people are not fans of. I'm not a fan of it. I'm definitely not fans of it plurally. I'm not fans of anything, but I'm not a fan of what I've seen of the new Turtles series. This is a hard show to stand up against, though, in my opinion. Especially voice cast was amazing. The character design was amazing. I liked what they did with the Krang. I don't know if this is original to this series, but they made Krang a species instead of just a villain. I think in the original animated series, he was just a one-off, just one villain. Well, not one-off, but he was one guy. There's a whole species of them now, thanks to this. I think this is where that started. You Turtles fans, correct me. But I think they're doing that in the IDW, the regular books too now. The Krang are a species, and I love that. I think that's great. And again, someone correct me. Maybe that's not original to the series, but I like how they're portrayed anyway in this show, even if they're not original to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012 Nickelodeon show. I do like how the Krang are portrayed. I guess I like the show a lot. Just introducing this. This will be a short. I only want to cover the first issue. In this book, again, this book contains all 3 issues, but maybe I'll just jump in and cover the first one. Again, this is, I think, an example of maybe not everyone is interested in this, especially my age group. I tend to maybe lean a little bit young for my age group in my interests as far as entertainment and stuff. I just like the colorful, fun stuff. That doesn't mean I don't like other stuff too, but I do like this stuff. And this might be out of, my demographic, not really popular. I mean, this looks like a children's book, if you can't tell. So that's obviously they're not trying to market it towards people like me. But I do think, nonetheless, it's an example of, in my opinion at least, IDW handling a license correctly. There's no SJW stuff. There's no nonsense like that. It's just good whether the storyline is mature enough for you. It's a good story. It feels like an episode of the show. So we'll jump right in. This is my longest ramble yet. This is written by Caleb Gollner. I don't know any of these people. They did a good job. Caleb, I think I did a little research. I think he was actually involved in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Amazing Adventures, the book, before it turned into the Batman crossover, before it turned into this 3-issue miniseries. I believe he was involved. I looked up an issue or so, and his name wasn't on it, but I looked him up as a person, and he apparently was involved. So probably just issues I didn't look up, or I just missed his name. But it's good he's on this. And this just starts off, you got the Ninja Turtles against the Robotanimals, which are the mutanimals that are roboticized, I guess. That's kind of a Sonic word, but that's what it is. It starts off with Baxter Stockman. He's kind of bored. Something happened to Shredder. I don't know what. If that relates to... I love the Ninja Turtles Nickelodeon 2012 show. I love it, but I'm not current on it. I stopped watching a couple seasons into it. Not due to lack of interest, but just due to other stuff. I still want to go back and watch it. But I don't know if it's in the show or just in the comic that something happened to Shredder. But Baxter Stockman, which I guess they call Stinkman, call a lot of other things too. Everyone forgets his name is part of the joke. But I'll call him just Baxter Stockman. He doesn't know what to do. He's out of mutagen, but he thinks, hey, I'll experiment with these guys. And these guys, I don't remember these guys, but I don't know if they're friend or foe, if they're like, I don't know, do bad guys really have allies, even if they are bad guys? Bad guys tend to just use each other, but I don't know if these guys are good guys that are captured or if they're bad guys. It doesn't matter necessarily for the sake of the story, but he has them captured. They're eating his chocolate. He's a little upset that he has to share his chocolate, but it's worth it for science, of course. So he lets in his nanobots and turns them into robots, because that's how science works in cartoons. You can just get nanobots. Nanobots are like magic. You just turn people into robots. There you go. And he's going to use these to catch more mutants, I guess, to turn them into robot things and take over the world or something for science. I'm not really clear, but something about he's a genius and the world will bow before him. Something, I don't know. It's all that stuff. Mutanimals are hanging out, and there's Mondo Gecko. There's, I think, Leatherhead. I think that's Spike. Muckman. Dr. something, and that's Pete, I think. Rockwell, I think. But they're hanging out. They're waiting for the turtles to come get pizza. They think the turtles are showing up the door. Go get the door. And it's Baxter Stockman, and he gets a trash can to the face like he deserves. That's what you do. A bad guy, a big mutant fly guy with, I don't know what that is. I don't want to think about what that is on his head. He walks up to your hideout. That's apparently not secret anymore. He gets a trash can to the face. That's just what you do. So this is the part I don't understand. My first time reading through this, I thought the dialogue was a little wonky. I read through it a second time, and I think for the most part, it's just my reading of it that was wonky, misreading words and not understanding context. But I think for the most part, it does mostly make sense. But this still doesn't make sense to me. He walks in. Spike, he says, "Oh, thank Kevin's you're home." Spike gives him a trash can to the face. That's Spike's hand. Spike apparently says, "Heads up, mutanimals, we've got uninvited guests." And then Stockman says, "Oh, thank you." What is he thanking him for? Was that his meal? Did he eat from the trash can? He is a fly. Is he? This doesn't understand. I don't know if this is like the Marvel method where the art was done first and then the dialogue was second, but this doesn't match up to me. It doesn't really matter. I'm just rambling. So he basically says, all my friends, I made a bunch of robot friends. All my friends are gone. I made robot friends, and now my robots are trying to kill me, which is not at all true. But it is a nice stereotype that happens in Sonic, that happens in... It's just a good villain cliche. That's a good reason, if you're writing a story, that's a good reason to have your villain team up with the heroes against other villains that were created by the villain. It's just a good way to have a team up. But in this case, it's not honest. He's lying to get close to these guys, the mutanimals. And he used kind of a manipulative stuff. He says, the turtles wouldn't believe me, the turtles wouldn't help me, but you guys understand. And that is maybe true. Again, he doesn't want to be understood. He's got ulterior intentions here. But because remember, he he roboticized these guys. I don't know, maybe he is telling the truth. We don't know that yet in the story. He roboticized these guys, and then the next thing we know, he's telling the mutanimals that the roboticized people are attacking him. So I don't know, maybe he's lying, maybe he's telling the truth. They don't trust him. But he says that the turtles wouldn't listen to him, but you guys would. You guys are different. And the mutanimals are outcasts, so there is a chance they want to accept other outcasts because they themselves are outcasts. They see themselves in him, or in people like him. And people, I mean, he's Muckman, for crying out loud. Can you imagine how he smells? I feel sorry for him. I think he should mutate again. They should do that for his character, mutate him into something less gross. And it'll be less gross to look at. But it's all about the beauty that's inside, right? I mean, he's a good guy. That's what we should be focusing on. But at least he's a good guy for cleanup, probably, because he probably doesn't mind the smell. But again, I think that's also potentially manipulation when you say, hey, you're better than these other people. They wouldn't understand, but you would. That's a manipulation tactic as well. So they don't know if they trust him. Rockwell says, he can read minds. He's got that headgear. And he says, I can't tell if he's lying. His mind's a mess. He's hiding something. But the turtles show up. That's the next thing they're not sure if they trust him or not. And the turtles are upset about them letting Baxter Stockman in. They're saying, hey, he's an outcast just like us. We don't trust him, but we want to at least hear him out. We're at least holding him until you guys got here. And they're like, hey, you should have told us sooner. Baxter Stockman, he was lying. He flies up there, he disappears, and here comes some nanobots to the face. And again, this is how science works. Children, don't try this at home. Don't fly up into the ceiling and throw vials of nanobots at your Robotanimal, Mutanimal, at your Mutanimal friends. Don't do that. The Ninja Turtles are ninjas, so they make it out, but they're going to be in for a fight because now they've got to fight their friends because their friends are turned into robots, and you know what that always means is they're under control of the villain. That's just how it works. Now that's kind of interesting. His face before, I noticed, Muckman did not look scary. He's got kind of a softer, there you go, Muckman. He's got like a goopy, sludgy face, but he turns robotic, and somehow that page forward, that gives him a skull face. So, and really cool. The character design, these nanobots are also big into character design. They want to make the people that they're inhabiting look cool too. So they're deciding how to take him down. I think Donatello decides that they could take him down. Is that this part? I don't know. They're just fighting them. At some point, I don't know what panel it is, Donatello says that, he says we could take him out with an EMP. Raphael says, yeah, but that might wipe their brains. I don't know how he knows that, but I guess if someone is... I don't know how science works anymore. If someone's a robot and you wipe their robot brain, does that mean that they turn back into humans? Their human brain is wiped too? I'll take his word for it. They're the ones who live in this world. I obviously don't. I've never been turned into a robot with nanobots. So they say, hey, we're going to take them into this factory. I guess we all know what's going to happen. I didn't know when I first read because I wasn't paying attention, but it's Old Bessie Glue Emporium. Not even factory, it's an emporium. So they're fighting them here. They put the glue on, and the glue, surprise, it does not hold them. It doesn't hold the psychic. The psychic breaks out. So they're fighting. There's a lot of just action in this video, in this issue. Again, this part of the book, this issue, this is still issue 1. And again, I like the art style is very good. It's very indicative of the 2012 Ninja Turtles show that it's based on. And again, it's just good fun and all ages action so far. And Baxter Stockman is kind of watching from up there as they fight. But it also does its own thing. This is very in line with what the show looks like, but they're not trying to tie themselves to that 3D look, which is nice. They're getting that nice 2D aesthetic that looks good in the comics, that extra expressiveness that you can get. So they're fighting, and again, there's not much to talk about with just fighting. I do find it interesting that the Robotanimals do eventually take them down. It's there's a little bit of poetic, not justice, but irony here. I don't think specifically with Muckman and Leonardo, but you'll notice it's the intelligent. Not that the others aren't intelligent, but it's the very mentally, intellectually focused character, Dr. Rockwell, I believe, who takes down Donatello, and then you have Mondo Gecko taking down Michelangelo. And Mondo Gecko in the animated show was actually voiced by one of Michelangelo's old voice actors from one of the previous shows, maybe the original. I don't know. They brought him back in as a cameo. I don't know if he was. Wait, no, 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 no. Did they? Yeah. Yeah, they did. They did. They did. Someone correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure. I was trying to figure out if it was Napoleon Bonafrog, but no, they brought in some Napoleon Dynamite impersonator for Napoleon Bonafrog. This is he's voice acted in the show by one of Michelangelo's old voice actors, and in the 2012 Ninja Turtles show, he is actually the one who introduces Cowabunga to the Turtles. That phrase, Cowabunga. In the 2012 show, one of the things, I don't know, older fans might not be as big of a fan of is that the Turtles don't say Cowabunga. They say Booyakasha. But Mondo Gecko says Cowabunga. So Mikey and him are friends. They're very similar sort of personality. He's just kind of a cool, chill skateboarder guy. And Michelangelo, says, hey, I'm going to steal your catchphrase on it once in a while. So every once in a while they say Cowabunga. I don't know, is that true, Ninja Turtles? And Raphael gets taken down by Spike, who, again, in this show, he raised Spike. Spike used to be a turtle before he mutated. He was Raphael's pet. Hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler. But a little bit of justice. I don't know what connection there is with Muckman and Leonardo. Maybe Leonardo's the leftovers. He doesn't really have a corresponding enemy in the Mutanimals, corresponding character, corresponding connection with someone. He doesn't have any stronger connection with any of the Mutanimals like these other three do with the specific Mutanimal, so he just gets Muckman. So that's fine. That's what you get when you don't have a good relationship with someone in the group. You just get a bunch of garbage to the face. That's what you deserve. I'm just kidding, of course. And Baxter Stockman says, I've got you guys. And that's the end of issue number 1 of the mini-series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, Robotanimals. I think Robotanimals. I think Robotanimals. I think that's how you say it. Robotanimals. That sounds cooler. Whatever way sounds cooler is the way you're supposed to say it, I think. And I think this is good. For a 3-issue miniseries, this is how the first issue should end, with the heroes at their limit. And you're thinking, are these guys going to win? Their friends are robots. They're powerful. Baxter Stockman got them beat. So we'll see what happens next issue. I don't want to cover this whole book all in once because, it's 3 issues. It took me a long time to read it. Somebody's hot rodding here in the parking lot. But let me know what you guys think about, 2012 Ninja Turtles, the 2012 Nickelodeon series, about me rambling about it for 10 minutes, about the IDW book. Again, I got this, not to review it, I got this a little while ago. I think this miniseries came out late 2017, early 2018. I could be wrong. Time flies together for me. I'm really bad with time. But this is a good one if you like this iteration of the Ninja Turtles, in addition to picking up the trade paperbacks, which I intend to do soon, at some point whenever I can justify the cash. I do want to get those. But this too, this is, you'll see in the 3rd issue, if we get to cover that, it kind of, it's a sending off for the show, for this iteration of the Turtles. That's a little sad for me, but as a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, actually, if they now that Sonic's with IDW, they can do crossovers with different things. If they ever do a Sonic the Hedgehog Ninja Turtles crossover, I hope they bring back this version of the Ninja Turtles, because this will fit best with Sonic, I think, rather than the current more realistic Ninja Turtles wouldn't fit stylistically as well. So that'd be kind of cool. Be interesting. A lot of people probably want Sonic to cross over with My Little Pony. A lot of fans. I don't know a lot about MLP, but that could happen. I'm not going to talk about Sonic. This is a review for the Robotanimals, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, based on the Nickelodeon 2012 show. I love it. Let me know what you guys think. Today is Wednesday, so I'm headed to the comic book store, and I am super excited to pick up a few things. There's a lot of good things coming out today, so I'll let you know what I got. This is not the best video I've ever done, I don't think, but I mean, I've got a lot to live up to. I've got 4 other videos. What's the chance of, the 5th one being the best one? Um, I'm just kidding. All right, I'm going to stop talking. You guys take care. I'll talk to you guys all soon. Thanks. Bye.